Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the final part, rather stage of the maize planting cycle, which is called harvesting. Harvesting obviously is the process of reaping the rewards of a certain process. And here is the farmer that you can see is now collecting the final maize cobs. They are now dry. These ones obviously will have to be put in some form of a grinding mill so that you can grind them into the powder that we use either for human feeds or for stock consumption, etc. So if you have machines, definitely it's going to be a different story. But obviously what you just want to show you in this picture is the final output, what the maize plant produces, or what the product looks like in its stock when it reaches its mature stage. So maize plants typically take about 90 to 120 days to mature and be ready for harvest. So you have to mark this on your calendar from the day when you start planting. Know that you will be ready for harvesting after 3 to 4 months. So if it's a very big, large scale commercial property, then you just have to know that the equipment has to be ready for harvesting at this time. And this can also help you to plan your time as well, because over these 90 to 120 days it will really need a lot of your time, maximum focus and attention, in order to prevent any of the eventualities that we've been talking about from happening. But obviously this can vary depending on this specific variety of the maize that you want to plant and the growing conditions are applying there. After the maturity of the maize plants, the maize kernels are going to be ready to be harvested, as we saw the farmer doing in the previous picture, and used for various purposes such as consumption, livestock feed, or processing into products like cornmeal or even ethanol. Ethanol is a type of fuel that we use. It can be made using the maize residue from the maize processing, or rather it can also be used using sugarcane and other crops. You can also use the traditional hand picking method if you do not have resources, or when you want to harvest it while still green and fresh. We mentioned that it can also be harvested at this stage for those who want to consume it in that state. It is also delicious and nutritious as well. So large commercial farms wait for the maize to dry first, and then they use a combine harvester to pick up the kernels and separate the maize seed from the dry stalk and its leaves. For longer term storage though, you have to let the maize dry first and use insecticides that kill the weevils and the ants, because they can still follow the maize into the barn and still destroy it in the process. So once you do this, there you go, ladies and gentlemen, you will have successfully planted, grown, maintained and harvested your first ever batch of maize crops. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please go and try it and be able to start living an independent life without depending on external sources for basic things like